Hello everyone, in today's tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to make these beautiful bird of paradise sugar cookies. This is an idea for a Mother's Day gift. I also have two other videos. One is the palette knife bird of paradise tutorial, and the other one I show you how to make wafer paper birds of paradise. So don't forget to check that out. I'm going to place it at the end of this video. I started off by making my templates. I do not have a specific cookie cutter for this, so I just did it on some cardboard and I traced it onto my dough and cut it out and baked it. I do have a sugar cookie tutorial. If you guys want to go and check that out, I will list it down below. One of the things that I like to do as soon as my cookies come out of the oven, I always like to first check my skewers, make sure that there's no split ends on any of them before inserting them to my cookie. And with the fondant smoother, I like to press my cookie down and then very gently insert my stick and then very gently take it out. I like to do this so I have space to decorate and for drying without the stick being in the way. For the royal icing, I like to use 20 to 30-second consistency. I find that this is what best works for me. And here I'm just tracing out or outlining the cookie just so you guys can see how I'm going to flood each section. Starting off with the top portion of the flower, I'm filling in the petals, skipping a petal or two in between, letting that dry for at least half an hour to an hour before filling in the next section. I did the same thing for the bottom of the cookies, filling a section at a time. Here I'm adding some red. The birds of paradise usually are greenish with like a hint or a tint of red on the sides and on the bottom portion of them. For this cookie, this is a closed bird of paradise, so no petals on top. I'm going to be using a wet on wet technique, adding some orange on the bottom of the beak, and then for the rest of the cookie, I'm going to flood it with a nice deep red. I achieved this color by using a Wilton red and just adding a couple of drops of black and letting it develop for a day or two before using it. Using the same wet on wet technique for the leaves, I did two different shades of green. I should have gone a little bit lighter on one of them because you guys can't really tell right here, but up in person, like up close in person, you can see the difference of color. Now that my petals had time to dry, I'm going to move on by flood the next section of petals and then letting those dry before I finish doing the top portion of the cookie. Once I finish with the top portion, I'm going to continue by using the same technique and finishing the rest of the cookie. I'm adding a little bit of red on the bottom and then I'm going to add some orange and then just mix it into each other and setting it to dry. I do not have a dehydrator, so I let them air dry for about a day or overnight, I should say, and then I'm going to continue to the next step. Once my cookie was dry, I wanted to give the petals a bit of a pop, so I used some edible markers according to each color and I traced the petals. This made the petals pop out a little bit more, which was exactly what I wanted, and it turned out to look very pretty. And the plus part was that the edible markers dry fairly quickly, so I didn't have to wait any more time than I already did to assemble this arrangement. Now to insert the stick, I'm just going to add a little bit of royal icing and I'm going to insert my stick very carefully. I do not want to break my cookie and I'm going to let it dry. I also use the edible marker to trace my leaves and make the middle part of the leaves. Here I have this beautiful mug and I have a couple of tropical flowers which I sprayed with paint, and I did this like at least a week before I even used them and put them together with my arrangement. And of course, if I was going to be gifting this, my cookies would be covered fully in clear bags, so they wouldn't have any contact whatsoever with any of the painted leaves. And it will also ensure that your cookies and all that hard work will stay as fresh as possible, nice and wrapped. Here I'm just putting my arrangement together and seeing what looks best and arranging my cookies how I want them to look. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a great idea for a Mother's Day DIY gift. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that it's helpful to somebody out there. I will also love if anybody tries this out to tag me on my Instagram. It's at SC Cakes and More, the same title as here on my YouTube, but everything connected. I would love to see your guys' work. And if you guys found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I'm a very small channel, and the more likes that I get, the more people get to see my videos. So with that being said, don't forget to also go and check out the other two videos that I have on birds of paradise, and I hope that you enjoy them and you guys have a great day.